Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Play on GAA with me, Seamus Brady, your host, and for this one I'm delighted to be joined once again by Matthew Hurley, the GAA Statsman. We are going to run through now the preliminary quarter-finals from the Táilteann Cup 2023. There were four of them which happened over the weekend, and safe to say a surprise or two was sprung from these results. Now, we've already discussed the two hurling provincial finals. If you have not seen them, do check them out on the channel. They're great videos. And we're moving on to Gaelic football now, the Táilteann Cup recap. So obviously we have four preliminary quarterfinals here to show you. Matthew, what did you make of these games? Definitely some surprising results.
Definitely so. Like, even look at the Wexford results against Offaly. A lot of people tipped Offaly for the final, including yourself and Aaron, I'm sure, as well. And jeez, it was an absolute shock. At the same time, like, I was kind of thinking before the game going into it, Wexford would definitely put it up to them. Like, they beat Offaly last year, but to score 122 from play was absolutely incredible from them. Laois was the biggest surprise of the weekend for me. Like, beating a Fermanagh team that are now in Division 2. What a result for the Laois team in general, because Billy Sheen's team, exactly, like, a very, very good result for them. Like, when you think about their run, like last week, they got pretty embarrassed by London, like a draw against London in Fermanagh Park. And to go from that to beat a Fermanagh team during Division 2, it definitely goes down to Billy Sheen and his team. He put up a very good performance, and fair play to Laois and all of them. Carlow got a win, Down got a win as well. So, yeah, very good weekend of Táilteann Cup action, very good weekend of the other minor championships as well. So, yeah, there was enough football despite the two hurling provincial finals as well.
Yeah, without doubt. And so let's get into the first of the preliminary quarterfinals in what is Donald Cusack's favourite competition in Ireland. We're going to go into the first one, only messing Donald if you're listening to that. But first one that we're going to get into is the one that you were talking about. Wexford 122, Offaly 214 in O'Connor Park. Now, when I was doing my preview for this game, I did predict a clean sweep for the home teams. I looked at it and I said, I thought Offaly would win. I thought Fermanagh would win. I thought Carlow would win. I thought Down would win. I got 2 out of 4. So only listen to 50% of the things that I say in this match reaction. But in this game, you are right. Look, Wexford beat Offaly last year, but then Offaly came back and beat Wexford later on in the year. I think it was in the Táilteann Cup, actually, if I'm not mistaken. I think Offaly came back and avenged that loss. But you are right. I knew Wexford would put it up to them, and they had obviously had good results, drawing with Fermanagh away from home, beating Leitrim. But I still thought Offaly at home surely would be too strong, especially when you looked at the forwards that they had, the likes of Keane Farrell, the likes of Anton Sullivan. What happened?
Jeez, I don't know what happened. They got 2 men sent off, apparently. The number 14 got sent off. Anton Sullivan also got sent off during...
That's the second game now in a row that's happened.
Yeah, I think it's
indiscipline. They got 2 lads
sent
off as well. What's going on there?
Indiscipline, that's the thing with it. I don't know what it is with the Offaly players, because they definitely have the quality to compete for the Táilteann Cup. I don't know what it is with them, indiscipline with them. But to be fair, Seamus, I know you could talk about Offaly being off colour and all that and indiscipline, but fair play to Wexford. And I think this is more on Wexford, to be honest with you. 122 from play. I literally had to recheck that stat to even put it up. And I was like, wow. You know, I looked at Wexford's GAA's social media and they said, yeah, confirmed, no score from a free or anything like that. 122 from play. Incredible. What a showing from Wexford. Like, Mark Rossiter 1-4, Owen Nolan 4 points, Brian Malloy 3 points. Those were the 3 key shining lights. And that's not mentioning Ben Brosnan, who's been Mr. Wexford over the last few years. So Wexford deserve a massive amount of credit in this game. And we said about Wexford early on this season, they're the most unpredictable team. They could pull off a result like Offaly last year, but then lose to, I don't know, a Laois or Watford or things like that in the same season. But this season, it seems to be consistent with them. They've beaten Leitrim twice. They've beaten Offaly. They've beaten... they beat Offaly as well. They did lose to Laois in the Leinster Championship, but they were consistent in Division 4. I think they beat Carlow as well. So they've been absolutely brilliant throughout Division 4 and the Táilteann Cup. They finished 4th in Division 4. People seem to forget that as well. So it was a very good showing from Wexford. I just think Sligo and Wicklow were just a bit too good for Wexford in the league this season. But Wexford football has been in the doldrums, I think, ever since 2011 when they tested Dublin all the way in that Leinster final. Maybe even 2012, 2013 when they were still a bit competitive. But ever since then, they've fallen off a cliff. But now, I think this sort of result, this sort of form, under John Hagerty, the guy from Shelbeliers who reached the All-Ireland semi-final in Croke Park with them at club level, I think he's getting the most out of these Wexford players. And Wexford are definitely a team not to be sniffed at over the next 2 seasons. I think it's a remarkable performance by the men from the southeast.
Yeah, I think they were fantastic because you look at the attacking talent that Offaly have. For Wexford to put up 122 against them, they gave Offaly a taste of their own medicine, a forward masterclass from the model county in this game. And they are into the next stage of the Táilteann Cup, where another team in Leinster booked their place. Carlow saw off New York at Netwatch Cullen Park 15 points to 10. Dara Foley, as ever, leading the way for Carlow with 7 points from him. It's their third victory of the Táilteann Cup, so they're having quite a good time in this competition and seeing off a New York side that have definitely given other sides some problems.
And the thing was, they were down at half time. I think it was 8 points to 6, and New York scored 2 points in the second half in general. So it was a very, very good showing from Carlow, very good performance from them. And may I add as well, Dara Foley with his 7 points at the weekend. I've calculated it and double checked. He's the top scorer of the Táilteann Cup at the moment with 27 points. And why not? He's an outstanding footballer, I have to say. Mr. Foley himself, he's a incredible free taker. He's an incredible leader for Carlow, and he could be one of the Táilteann Cup players of the year by the end of it. But Colm Hulton was very good as well. Conor Doyle making bombing runs, scoring 2 points. Conor Crowley was good. Jordan Morrissey always had potential as well. So Carlow are definitely coming to the fore. But New York, they've had a very good year, I have to say, beating Leitrim. Competitive here against Carlow. Yes, Sligo was a bit of a mismatch in a way, but you see what Sligo did to Roscommon and Kildare, the All-Ireland series itself. They're a tough team to beat Sligo. So New York have had an outstanding year. Fair play to them, and I'm sure the Carlow chairman was actually, his son was playing for New York in this, so it was a nice moment. Yeah, nice moment there from him. PR point of view, definitely. But fair play to Carlow getting to the quarterfinals. And this is their second quarterfinal appearance of the Táilteann Cup. Last season, they lost to the eventual winners, Westmeath. So I'd be thinking, judging by that, strange stat, Cavan, Meath, the likes of them that will have aspirations of winning the Táilteann Cup will be hoping they draw Carlow in the next round, because it's a bit of a good luck charm. But enough about the jokes. It's a very good win for Carlow, and they definitely will be a team to be reckoned with.
Oh, without doubt. And that was a lovely, lovely sight to see Shane Bulger playing for New York against Carlow with his dad, a Carlow chairman, at the end of the game. So, that was a moment made possible by the Táilteann Cup. Another moment made possible by the Táilteann Cup was a real redemption story for Laois, 111 to 19. They beat Fermanagh at Brewster Park. But let's be honest at the same time, Fermanagh have been bang average in this Táilteann Cup. They have been way below the level that I thought they'd be at. While you can look at it through the angle of, well, Laois got that victory, well done to them. And yes, of course, well done to Laois. But Fermanagh have been really bad in the Táilteann Cup. They draw with Wexford at home. Okay, maybe a bump in the road. They beat Leitrim. Okay, maybe things are turning up. Then they lose to Antrim. And then they lose to Laois at home. That's not good enough for a team that we know have really, really good players, for a team that got promoted from Division 3, for a team that have consistently gone toe-to-toe with the best teams in Ulster over the last 5-6 years and have, given as good as they've got and reached an Ulster final in 2018, sorry. That's not good enough.
It isn't known. When you look at their Division 2 form, we thought that Fermanagh would have been turning a corner with the likes of Sean Quigley on form, Ultan Kell. Like, Ultan Kell didn't even score in this game. And I actually tipped him to be a player to watch this weekend, because he hasn't been on form in the Táilteann Cup, and we know Ultan Kell can go up on so many levels, as shown in Division 3 this season. And he's been nowhere to be seen in this competition, and you have to call that out as well. Fermanagh have been pretty bang average in this. Kieran Donnelly, I thought he'd be turning a corner with this Fermanagh team, and it's not as if Fermanagh would have realistically gone into the Sam McGuire just because they got promoted. Like, knowing that Sligo would have been in the Connacht final and Westmeath would have been in the All-Ireland regardless because of winning the Táilteann Cup, they knew they were in division, they were in the Táilteann Cup unless to get to a provincial final, and they were playing Derry in a provincial quarter final. So surely the players knew we were in the Táilteann Cup. So surely they were been thinking, we're going to take this seriously now, lads. And I don't think they actually have, Seamus, which is honestly, the strange thing about them, because I think Fermanagh are the type of team that could have gone on a run and gone on to win it. It would have been a
Yeah.
brilliant opportunity for them players, and they've just thrown in the bin. It's very unfortunate for the likes of Ulton Kim. Sean Quigley, I think he'll call it quits now, to be honest with you, James. I don't see how he gives another season to Fermanagh now with the young exuberant players around him. He scored a goal in this game. He tried his best to keep Fermanagh in it, but it just wasn't enough for them, unfortunately, and they are out of the Championship Cup. But fair play to Laois. I know we talk about Fermanagh, but Laois, what a win for them. And yeah, at the start of the campaign, I was encouraged by Laois against Cavan. I thought they were very, very good. Like Mark Barry, Evan O'Carroll in the forward line, Mark Timmins in the back line. I thought they were very, very good, and there was potential there. And they drew against Offaly, more potential. I just thought they threw that potential down the drain doing drawing to London, a London team that couldn't buy out, and which makes this result even more surprising. Special shout out to Mark Timmins, Seamus, 37 years of age. He scored 1-1 in this game to basically win it. And I think he scored 2-3 overall in this Táilteann Cup. A centre back was 37. What a story. And it's another story created by the Táilteann Cup as well. And 3 points each for Evan O'Carroll, Mark Barry and Paul Kingston. They're the three diamonds of the forward line. And I think there could be a team to beat whoever draws them tomorrow morning as well. So it should be a very, very interesting campaign for Laois, but very good win just to boost the morale, because Laois football has been in the doldrums for years. And to get a win like this would definitely boost the morale of their players in general. But for Fermanagh, as we mentioned, since Division 3, the Division 3 final in particular, it's been a slippery slope, unfortunately.
Yeah, no, without doubt. Hugely disappointing for Fermanagh, but for Laois, definitely signs of more promising future on the horizon. Now, the final preliminary quarter-final happened in Port Esler, and this one went pretty much how I think both of us thought it would go down, winning 120-112 against Longford in Port Esler. That being said, a very determined Longford who gave down a really good challenge for long periods of this game. Joseph Hagan leading the way with 1-3, but down saw off the challenge. Pat Harron with 6 points, Andrew Gilmore with 3 points, Rory Mason with 3 points, Danny McGill with the goal. My question to you is, have they shown you progress since the Meath defeat?
It's hard to know, really, Seamus, when you think about it. Like Longford, like they were in the game until they got a black card in the last 10 minutes, and then Down pulled away and made the score a lot more comfortable than the scoreline suggested. I was keeping an eye on this game, and by half time, like Longford definitely put it up to them. They were ahead at half time, correct me if I'm wrong, no, and Down needed a resurgent quality in the second half to go ahead and beat them. They needed that Danny McGill goal. They definitely needed it to stay in the game. And to be fair to Down, they did. Like Pat Harvard is a forward that I'll be keeping an eye on for ages now. He scored 4 points for play tonight, 6 points overall, as you mentioned. An incredible performance by him. But you need more to step up to go on and win the Táilteann Cup, because Down are a county that need to go on and win it. Like Eugene Brannigan is stepping up, which is a good sign. Liam Kerr is a good player there as well. Andrew Gilmore, Ross Carr. There's some very good players in Down. And obviously Conor Laverty, the manager, who's probably one of the best tactical brains in the country. The question is, can they keep the consistency going? Like 17 points against Meath last week wasn't good. And they need to improve against stronger opposition than this. Longford, it's been an up and down year, to be fair. Like they had a good performance in this game in particular, but losing to Carlow, losing to Limerick in the Táilteann Cup, had a poor league campaign. They won the O'Byrne Cup, which kind of had a bit of a false sense of promise about Paddy Christie's team in a way. But yeah, it's been a very average season for Longford. Hopefully our players resurge in a way and come back fighting next season, because they have the potential. Like Joseph Hagan with 1-3 from plays, an outstanding showing. Jack Duggan was one of the under 20 top scorers last season for Longford, so he has a potential as well. Darren Gallagher is a good midfielder. Dylan Farrell's a forward that's come through the ranks. So Longford have potential, and they have a very good coach, Paddy Christie. But for Down, if they are to win it, I think they need to be more consistent against the bigger teams in this competition. No offence to Longford, but to be honest, this result was kind of expected. And Down did get a fright at half time, but they resurged, and that was a good quality of a team, to be fair as well.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well said. Yeah, guys, so that is the recap of the preliminary quarterfinals from the Táilteann Cup 2023. 4 really, really good games, and I cannot wait for the next round of fixtures. That is the recap of the Gaelic football action over the weekend, guys. Thank you for giving us your time. do check out the other videos. And until the next one, take care.